welcome back to my channel where I share all things on influencer virtual assisting. So in today's video, I wanted to share with you how to find influencer virtual assistant jobs. This is going to be on my experience on how I found jobs, how I have helped other people to find jobs, and all of the little details in between. So let's get into it. The first place that I find jobs is by emailing people. I will personally cold reach out to people and ask if they're looking for any assistance or looking to bring on help. So the way that I find their emails, and I'll include a little screen recording of how I do this, but you just go to the Instagram app, click on an account, influencer or content creator that you want to reach out to. And if they have a little email button, or oftentimes they may even have it in their bio, click on their email, it'll pull up and just copy and paste that into an email and reach out to them. So I do this a lot, or I used to do this a lot whenever I was first starting out. I would send hundreds and hundreds of emails every month and reach out to clients or reach out to influencers and content creators that I wanted to work with. Now I've done a video on this before, on how to craft the perfect email. So I'll link that down below if you want to go and watch that just to get more details on the email, because the email will make or break your message. But something that I share often is that in the subject line, you just want to include something short, sweet, and simple just to grab their attention. And the reason that the email is such a good place to reach out for influencers and content creators specifically, I know that it seems like an out-of-date way of messaging, why wouldn't I just DM them, or don't you think LinkedIn or something like that would be better? But personally, no, email is the way to go, because influencers and content creators are getting brand partnerships, they're getting gifting emails, they're getting emails from their management team, from their agency, from whoever they work with. But email is the primary communication for influencers and content creators. I know from personal experience being on the inside of all these businesses that is their primary route of communication. So I highly recommend emailing them there, because they are going to see it. They may not open it if it's not a good email, but they will see it, and that is what you want. Whenever you're doing LinkedIn, you're often talking to a manager or an agency, somebody that's not them directly. But whenever you're emailing them, heck, it may go to their management first, but somebody close on their team is going to see it. And a lot of the influencers that I work with, they view their own email. Even influencers and content creators that have million, 2 million, 3 million followers, they are still kind of in their own email. They oftentimes, they'll see a manager, if they have a higher email amount coming in, they'll have one day a week where they sit and pilfer through the email. So highly recommend it. This is how I've gotten the majority of my clients at the front. Now we kind of rely more on references, but definitely in the forefront, 100% email. So I just touched on this, but the second way to get influencer virtual assistant jobs is through references. So this is a great thing. Influencers are almost a dime a dozen nowadays, which I think is amazing. There is so much room in this space for content creators and influencers. I kind of use that word interchangeably if you haven't noticed. There is so much room and space for a large amount of creators, and there's such a large amount of creators. Everybody is looking for help nowadays, and oftentimes you may even know an influencer or content creator. So if you're just starting out and you don't have any previous clients to get referrals from, and see if you know anybody in your neighborhood, anybody in your small town that does this as a job, and you can ask them if they're looking for any help, or if they know anybody that's looking for any help. But if you come from a very small town like me, where social media isn't super popular, then you're probably just going to be relying on those email reach outs. And then once you get a client or two underneath your belt, you can start asking for referrals. So a great system is to use incentives. Be hey, do you know anybody that is interested in getting an assistant or looking for any extra help with certain tasks? If so, I would love to offer you 50% off your next month, or something like that. Offer them an incentive to help you bring more people to your business. And a lot of times influencers and content creators don't, a lot of them, some are pretty independent, but they all communicate. They're all asking each other questions about the industry, comparing different things. So they communicate. And so I highly recommend, if you already have a client or two underneath your belt, ask for references. And that is going to be a great way to already establish some baseline of trust within a network of content creators, influencers. Because if somebody's recommending somebody else, they already know that if they trust that person that's giving the recommendation, then they already feel a sense that they know you, they can trust you, that you're the professional in this, and that is what we want. So the third way that you can find influencer virtual assistant jobs is by creating content on the topic and letting the content creators, influencers come to you. So I will say this is something that I didn't start doing until I had 1 or 2 clients underneath my belt. So again, I know I sound like a broken record, but emails are seriously just the way to go when you're starting out. But you can also start creating content just on some services you offer, or just like give examples of work. So one of my favorite TikToks to do that I make like once a week or once every few weeks is like, here's what I made today as a influencer virtual assistant, and I'll show like graphics that I created, or I will do like a day in my life as an influencer virtual assistant, just like doing little videos like that is going to capture people's creators' attention. And oftentimes it'll like has like a better chance of popping up on their feed when it's like catered to them already, like using that keyword influencer or content creator is going to perform better and like have a higher chance of getting in their algorithm, rather than if you just did like a video on here are services I provide as a virtual assistant. Like really throw that influencer, every time you make a video, throw the influencer in front of virtual assistant, because you're not just a virtual assistant, you're an influencer virtual assistant, and that is a very key thing. If you just say you're a virtual assistant, they're gonna be like, oh, this person probably doesn't have much experience in the social media world, it's like pass. They're probably just wanting to do admin tasks, which is fine if you are, but I specifically like to speak on influencer virtual assistants because that niche is kind of harder to come by. It's definitely a very new industry. So if you throw that influencer title in front of it, they're going to automatically know that like, you know, social media, you're good at creating stuff, you're good at like knowing all of the affiliate platforms. And so don't forget to include that very important keyword in there. So this was another kind of like short and sweet video, but that is how I find jobs. Like I said, I'll put in the description box the video on like crafting the perfect email down below, because that's going to be your ticket to getting a client. But thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to comment down below like any other videos you see, or any other videos you'd like to see, or any questions you have, or anything like that at all. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.